Will I ever be enough?
Welcome to the mess.
On the surface she looks fine, but what's inside ain't always in line. Life is good, life is bad. She's a mess, but a happy one.
Hi, I'm littlehappymess and welcome to my podcast.
Story time. Hello and welcome back to Little Happy Mess. Welcome to this new episode. Today I want to talk about how we always feel like we're not enough, especially as women. And men too, of course, because we're in a society where it's normal that we compare ourselves to everybody else, or we have so many different kind of sources that that we can use to compare ourselves, like social media, for example. We can just go on Instagram and then we have our feed and there's, so many beautiful people and everybody has so great stories, like everybody's on holiday or I don't know, everybody's just having a great time because, of course, we like to portray the good things more than the not so good things, and nobody will post on Instagram or lay in bed depressed all day today, or like very little people. Anyway, so we have a lot of sources that we can use to compare ourselves to other people, and this is something that I do very often too, but now try to avoid more, but I will get to that in the wisdom part. Because yes, we tend to always feel like we're not enough because there's always this voice in our head, which kind of seems like a motivating voice, like, okay, you need to, I don't know, build more muscles or lose a little bit more weight, or you need to grind a little harder in your job so you can reach that position, or you need to work a little harder in your studies so you get that scholarship, or you get those and those grades, so you can apply for those and those jobs. So we always push ourselves. And I don't think the pushing ourselves is wrong. I think we should push ourselves a little because sometimes we're just lazy and it's okay to be lazy, but not 100% of the time. But does it always have to be in a negative kind of way? Because that little voice always tells you you're not good enough. Like, you suck at that, you're not good at that person's so much better at that, and you're not good at that, and look at your brother, he's so much better in that and that. Does it have to be in that way, or can it also be can we motivate ourselves in another way? Like, oh, you did that really good, and now let's work on, I don't know, let's work on losing those 2 pounds you always wanted to lose. You look good now, but we can get a little better and feel even more comfortable. And if we don't achieve it, then it's okay too, or we will look for other means. I don't think we always have to push ourselves in a negative way. And then there's also this industry of self-optimization that is really big right now. So I'm a big part of that too, because I've done so many courses and I don't know, listen to podcasts how to optimize yourself. 5 steps how to, and then something. And I don't think that this is bad. We can optimize ourselves in many ways, but in order to optimize ourselves, we first have to be content with the state we are in right now. Because otherwise it's not even possible to get better, or you optimize yourself in an unhealthy way. So for example, you optimize your fitness level, but you take steroids. That's just one example. You can play that in many other parts. Or you want to enhance your work performance, so you take ecstasy. No, I don't think you would do that, but let's just assume. So, there's always a small grade, where to go, what price to pay, or do I even have to pay a price? Wisdom. So now we get to the wisdom part. this topic about being enough is really important to me, because I often have the feeling that I am not good enough, or I don't know, insert many things in here, productive enough, whatsoever, but like in general not good enough. And it's not like anybody outside in this outside world is telling me I'm not good enough, like not my friends, not my family, not my boyfriend, like nobody. It's something that I have internalized, and I've internalized that not because people told me that on a, I don't know, and on a regular basis, but because I was watching other people, I was watching my role models, or I was looking on social media, and I did that throughout a very long time. And then I've developed this ideal self, you know, this perfect self we all have in our head, how we wish to be, and this ideal self is always changing. So whenever you reach something, you know, it changes. So there's either like, I don't know, let's say you want to lose two kilos of weight, and then but let's lose 3, or okay, but now let's start getting sportier. I want a 6-pack now, or whatever. So it always changes. So it's like you have this carrot in front of your head, and you're always chasing it, and you can never reach it. And I think this is something that like I already said, it exists in my head, but it exists in many heads. Of course, we've been kind of influenced and brainwashed, so we've gotten a lot of, you know, input from outside, how we're supposed to look like, what we're supposed to be like, and it's like a multifactorial influence we've been exposed to here. So for girls it's different than for boys. Then it depends on the culture as well. It depends on how you grew up, and so many other things. But we've internalized a lot of stereotypes and role models and whatsoever, and you know, ways how we should be like, what we should look like, what we should behave like, and so on. And it's really important because most of that is unconsciously, like we just consume this information or this behavioral patterns or whatsoever. And it's really important that we transform that, so we have this ideal self in our head, but we should question if this is really ideal, if this is something like SMART goals. Is this even reachable? Is this even, you know, is this reachable? Is this really what I want? Is this measurable? So is there a way I can get there in a certain time, or by following a certain plan or whatsoever? Or is this just something that I will never reach? I'll never be able to reach. No one will ever be able to reach, and I can't catch it because it will always change. Because that's the case for me. So what I do is I try to be really conscious about my thoughts. So I try to make everything that's like happening subconsciously, I try to get it out and like get it into my consciousness, so that nothing happens without me knowing about it. So, for example, if I feel disappointed about myself, which happens very often, I try to find out what happened before. So what got me there? So let's say it happened after I was on Instagram. Then I'm like, okay, what happened on Instagram? And then maybe I saw, you know, a certain friend that is working on her projects a lot right now, and I would wish that I was working more on my private projects. So I saw that, and it made me feel sad. So it put me in a bad mood, and I got disappointed about myself. I've developed this ideal self, you know, this perfect self we all have in our head, how we wish to be, and this ideal self is always changing. So whenever you reach something, you know, it changes. So there's either like, I don't know, let's say you want to lose 2 kilos of weight, and then but let's lose 3, or okay, but now let's start getting sportier. I want a 6-pack now, or whatever. So it always changes. So it's like you have this carrot in front of your head, and you're always chasing it, and you can never reach it. And how much do I want to work on them? So like really define what I want, and how I can reach this certain goal, because I want to work more on my private projects. You know, like then you work 2 hours, it's not enough. Then you work 3 hours, it's not enough. Or, you know, you can play this endlessly. But like, I really try to define what do I want, and also say no to my head sometimes. Like, I know if my head says, oh my God, she's got such a pretty six pack and I don't. And then I'm like, yes. But also, I really like eating sweets and chips. So I just can't have a six pack right now because I enjoy eating all those foods, and it's okay. So sometimes it's also good to say no to all those things your head throws at you, because sometimes it's just not realistic, and sometimes it's not even, you don't really need to achieve everything and do everything, but like filter. What do you really want? What does your heart want? What aligns with your purpose, with your life mission and vision? What's like, is a six pack really important to you, or is it more important to you to enjoy life and work on other projects because that's what moves your heart? Just to give one example, I'll take the heart projects. No, but you know, I'm so funny today. Yeah, so that's the first thing, and then something that really helped me was when my boyfriend gave me a book from Jordan Peterson. We're also gonna watch him in June in Slovenia, because he's gonna be there giving a talk. I'm really excited for this. So anyway, Jordan Peterson wrote a book, and it's about the 12 rules of life. And one rule is, I forgot what the exact name of it was, but like, you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone else but the person you were yesterday. And this makes so much sense, because it is impossible for me, for example, to compare me to my boyfriend, because we are very different. And so it's that way for all of us. So we are unique. We have experienced different things. We have different kind of educational backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and so on and so on. And life formed us in a unique way. So we cannot compare ourselves to anyone else but ourselves. He gave one example. So maybe you have this amazing colleague at work, and you look up to him, and he's such a great worker, and you kind of envy him for his success and so on. But he goes home, and then he screams at his wife every time or whatsoever. So you don't know everything about a person usually. And also it's like, it's not just this one attribute, but it's the whole set of gifts that you come with, and that's unique. So the only person you can compare yourself with is yourself yesterday, or 2 days ago, or a year ago. So I like to imagine myself meeting the, I don't know, 13-year-old Nina, who was a little more shy and, you know, didn't really know her place in the world. Not that I do now, but you know. And, you know, if she would see me now, like, doing a podcast and having tattoos and, I don't know, like, having a boyfriend, she would be so proud of me. And then there's another version of Nina, maybe the version who did an exchange semester in Colombia without even knowing much Spanish, who would be like, you know, you can get out of your comfort zone a little more. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, true. If I compare myself to Nina 21, she didn't like give a lot of shits and took a lot of risks, and I could move back in that direction a little more. So and that's the only person I can compare myself with, because only the past versions of myself and the future versions of myself will be comparable to me, because they are me and everybody else is different. Maybe like Pedro is like my boyfriend, he's sporty too, but he is a very different sportive background, and he does it in a different way than I do. So I do it just for fun, and he really tries to achieve certain goals with it. So we can't compare ourselves to one another. And then there's also the fact that he's male and I'm female, and then there's like all those biological components that that differentiate us. So it's just not possible, and it doesn't make sense. And one last thing, because we talked about that yesterday, and I found it was really cool. Because sometimes we envy people, and like typical example, you're at the fitness studio, and like in my case, a really beautiful woman passes by, and she's like an amazing body, and she's beautiful, and she's even nice, or like perfect package. And then you like, I would never like say it out loud, but in my head I'm like, oh, she's so pretty, and then I'm looking for something negative about her, or about her appearance, or how she behaves and whatsoever. But if I go up to that person and make her an honest compliment, everything goes away. And then my head is clear too. Then I don't compare myself to her anymore. And then I don't try to be like that person anymore. Then I'm kind of like free. And I think that's this attitude of giving back, or I don't know. Giving attitude that really sets you free, and puts you in a place where you can think clearly, because you think more with your heart. Further material. So like I've already said, Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules of Life. I'll put the link in my description. It's a really cool book. It's really long, so it's a lot to read. If you don't like reading, just watch his YouTube videos. He has a channel and like a whole lot of videos. I'm pretty sure you've come across one or another video of him. Yes, but it's really worth watching him, because he's really honest, and he tells you the things that usually no one would tell you, and I really like that. Not all the time, of course. If you feel really bad, I would watch something softer, but he's awesome. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your feedback to this episode. And if you wanna get more messness, then go to Instagram or Facebook. Maybe TikTok. I'm not too sure yet if I will launch a TikTok account, but let's see. But anyway, you find me on social media, Little Happy Mess, and I'm really happy to connect with you there. So write me a message. You know the game, and I wish you a great weekend. Have fun, enjoy the sun, and till next time.